Hey guys, we are back. We are back. This time we're going to do a kaleidoscope cane, but it might be two parts. Okay, so we're starting it out like we were starting out a flower, except we're using bullseye instead of a fan fold. I am using Sculpey Primo Cobalt Blue and a regular green, cad yellow, and white. Alrighty. So if this doesn't take very long, we might be able to do the whole thing today. But if not, we might have to split this up and do half-half. Okay, so we took both of the bullseye canes and we made them into 4 parts. So kind of like we do with the fan fold of the flower. All right. We are going to alternate colors here. Okay, that one's really big. That's backwards, so no wonder why it wasn't working. Okay. And then we're going to cut this in half. And this will go on our side. Okay, so now we have... it's supposed to square it up. But I can't say that really worked. It's probably because I did it on the wrong side. So make sure before you squish it all together, so that you don't mess it up like I almost did. Okay, so now we have a square side. And just like the flower, okay, what I'm going to do right here though, if you can see, there's a little tiny bit of white sticking out. I don't want any white sticking out. I want that blue to be on the top. I will probably end up wrapping this at the end just to make sure, but just in case. Put that right there. And I'm just going to put a little bit here on the top. I think we're good there too. Okay. So now let's squish. And why does not... wasn't the same exact color. I don't know how it wasn't, but it wasn't. So basically, again, we want to make this long, okay? But I don't want you accidentally squishing it like this, the wrong side. That's not what I meant. Don't squish it like this and make this side long. That's only got the 2 colors on it. You want to make sure that you're squishing it long to where these are showing off of the both ends. So if you have to stop when you're working on them, just to look and make sure that you're squishing the right way, do that. And that way, it'll save you some tears during the middle of it. Ask me how I know. Okay. And the goal is to get this really thin. So we got some really nice striations. And then when you get to a comfortable length, you're going to cut it in half, just like the flowers. And you're just going to keep doing it. And on this one, you can do it pretty much until it looks good, because you're not going to take this into 9 ounces. So the colors that I'm using are basically from Fiona Abel Smith. She made a really pretty tropical flower. This isn't made like hers, but it kind of is. But I'm using a bullseye while she used the she kind of did hers different. How's that? This to me is a little easier. But I wanted her colors because they were just really bright. And I think it was her, I think she made a leaf bowl. So is it going to look like her flower? Nope. Again, it's going to be a little different. The colors will be different. The technique's a little different in the start. And I think I've got a video of these leaves, not in the tropical colors, but I know that I've made these before. I just don't know where in my arsenal of videos that they're at. So again, cut it in half. Already looking pretty. Even if you wanted to leave it just like that for a flower, that would be really pretty. These canes are so good at sparking ideas for other stuff. So I have a feeling I'm going to end up doing 2 more cuts. Let's see what it looks like on this last one. Yes, my hands are a little sore. If that helps the process along, I'm gonna use it. Not worried about the ends right now. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Okay. So I always find like the center point here. Okay, so that's good right there. Okay, so now I'm still going to reduce this, but I'm going to cut little pieces off of it. So I want to get this kind of thin down. I want to get it all the same size at first. I don't know if that's me. There's a knocking sound, but it's not matching my rhythm. So I don't know if it's something outside. It's a little windy today. We actually had snow on Sunday. Didn't start till like 2 in the morning. And of course I stayed up waiting for it. And if you looked at the Weather Channel, it was showing heavy snow, and I'm looking outside going, I'm really blind or something, because there is no snow out there. And then it finally hit a couple hours later. We didn't get a whole lot. We only got like 3 inches or so, but it was gone by morning. But it was just nice to see it fall. Sit there with a cup of tea and you can't listen for it. It's not like rain where you can just listen to it. It's just a very silent, beautiful thing. It's the only thing I'd miss if I moved away from here. That and probably all the airplanes. Okay, so I think we're going to start right here. Okay. And we're going to cut off the sides. Okay, so that's what we got. And I'm going to cut off about right there. I don't think I'm going to be using the edge. But anyways, so I'm cutting off 1 inch. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to reduce it some more. I'm trying to make sure that they're all even, which as you can see they're not. Just a little off right here in the center. Okay. It's just a little bigger right here. Okay, but anyways, cut off another inch. Okay. Then I'm going to do it again. Another inch. I need a total of 5 pieces. Okay, and then 1 more. Okay, so now we have five pieces. Okay, and I'm just rounding off the outside edge here. I'll save that for later. That might actually be a nice flower. I don't know. Might be a little too small, but we're going to keep it anyways. And I was going to put a dark little separator in here, but I think I'm going to use white. And it's going to be really thin. So I'm going to use a number 6. Okay. I'm going to go about right there. That way I can take it all the way across. I don't think I need it bigger than that. Okay, so I'm taking this side right here, and I'm not going all the way up to the top. Okay, so now we need this side. Same thing, not all the way up. Okay, I'll put those together. And then we need 2 more. Yeah. I was hoping I wouldn't do that. And then the last one. They don't have to be perfect, so if they don't line up with the other ones by a little bit, not a real big deal. You just don't want them all the way on the top. Okay. So there you go. So now we have sort of a leaf. Okay, so what I want to do is I kind of want to put a little bit of translucent in between these, just to kind of give them the appearance of separating a little bit. My hands are really sticky because of the white, so I may have a few issues doing this. Got new soap containers for the bathrooms, and I'm going to sublimate a pretty image on them. I don't know what to make yet. My color in the small bathroom over here is kind of like I want to say a slate blue. It's more like I don't want to call it a teal because it's got a little bit of a gray hue to it, and it's blue and gray basically. And I found this really pretty abstract picture of those color blues and gray and gold, and it was like kind of when you do your paint pour, you just get these different colors and shapes and stuff. It was really cool, so I'm thinking of using that and trying to make that today. So when you sublimate with pictures or with a sublimation printer, you gotta at least use it once a week because the ink tends to dry out. Okay, so there is the side of our tropical leaf. So what we're going to do now is I want to get this about 2 inches, okay? Always best when you make these to make them a little bigger. As you can see, I did not do that, but I would suggest you make bigger canes than this. I just don't want that much, so I kind of made it small, but that might be a disadvantage to me. And this part you want to work really small, or small. Okay, so you're basically just kind of stretching out the sides. Okay, and try and keep them all even like this. Okay, and then you're going to push it back in so that you keep that curve in the center. So the purpose of what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make this longer. That's all. I'm not trying to make it thinner. I'm just trying to make this wider. I want this to be at least 2 inches. But as you can see, as you do this and pull it out, you're pulling out that center. Okay. So this way you can come in after you do a little bit longer and then squish it. Okay, squish it and get that curve back into that. So we're at almost 2 inches. I might go a little longer. I don't know. We're going to see. So I'm just going to make sure all of this is even. Like that. And do the same on this side. So we got the top and the bottom. And you can feel the little bump in here where there's a little bit more. That's perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to squish it in, keeping the width, right? And keeping that center. Okay, so I think we're okay right there. So now, again, I'm trying to keep this all You know what I mean? Just easier if you got it all right the first time. Okay. So we're about really 2.5 if we look at it from this angle. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut right down the center. Okay, so there is your tropical leaf right there. Okay, so what I need to do now is I want to lay something on the inside. So I mean, do I want to go real bright or do I want to go subtle? I don't know. I think I'm going to go subtle on the side. So I've got this strip. There's not a whole lot to it. So I'm just going to throw this into the pasta machine. And whatever color it gives me is the color I'm going to use. And again, I'm going to make this really thin as well. I'm going to make this at a number 6. And I got a little piece of purple right sitting in front of me, so I just added that to it. And I'm just going to run it through. Okay, and again, I'm going to put it on at a number 6. Okay. And I'm going to lay both sides on it because there's going to be a cane in the middle. Okay, so there's one. Okay. It's pretty simple cane to make, and it's really pretty when it's all done. If I don't mess it up, right? So far, so good. Okay. Okay, and I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to cut off a little bit up there. And off at the bottom. Okay, so the inside, I want to make it bright. So I'm going to do a red on the inside. And at this point, you can do a solid piece, or you can do a Skinner blend. I am going to do a Skinner blend. I think a red and an orange would look really pretty in there. See, or you could do straight red, but I'm not. I'm going to do a red and orange. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make a Skinner blend. So I'm not going to show you what I'm doing. I'm just using some Cad Red and some regular orange. We're going to make a Skinner blend, and we're probably going to do a fan fold on that. It's either going to be that or we're just going to stack them up together. I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet. But I think red and yellow will be really pretty. Or I'm sorry, red and orange. Okay. And depending on how thick you want it. We'll figure that out at that point. So we're just going to use 2 of the 1.5 inch cutters for each color. Okay, and I'll be back as soon as that's done. Okay, so we are back. This is the inside of my cane, and this is orange and red. Hopefully I like the colors, or I will go back and make something else. And then I'm going to have so many canes for another one because of all the ones that I made for that last flower until I got it right. So we can make all kinds of stuff with those. I have a dog that's going for surgery again. I see the doctor, I think on the 7th. So I'm going to have a lot more canes for sale. They are in my Me and the Mutts Etsy store. Just so you know. Okay, so now we got to figure out how we're going to do this. So this is going to be the center. So basically I need this to be long, right? And thin. So I don't want to reduce it down top and bottom or I'll squish it. So I need to go like this. Okay. And I could put this in the pasta machine at a number 0. I just don't know how thick I want this center. Okay. So again, we want this thin, but we also want it out longer. Like that. Okay. And it's not going to be in the hole all the way down. So I just want to see how thick I want to make this. And if worse came to worse. All right, so we're going to put this in the pasta machine like this, going down that way. Okay, and that way it'll lengthen it up a little bit for us. Hopefully not too much, though. Okay. So let's see what that's going to look like. Oop. Okay, so I'm going to cut it down in half. All right, I just want to see if I want 1 or 2 layers for the center. I think that's going to be a little too much. Okay, I like it thicker, but I think that might be too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this one at a number 3. Okay. And I like the orange in there. So let's cut it about right there. And then what we'll do with this is we're just going to roll that back up into a bullseye cane. Okay, and on this one, I'm going to leave it at a 0. And again, I want the orange. And if it's still too thick, Okay. Maybe it is a little too thick. So we're gonna make this one at a number 2. And then we'll check it out and see if I like it. And you will either go thicker or thinner from that point. I don't want to go too thin. I mean, it looks good, but I want you to really see that center, but I just don't want it too thick. So I'm going to take this one down to a 3, and then I quit. I'm going to leave it as is. Okay. And again, I'm going to cut this about right there. Oop. Just don't cut off the purple. Darn it. Okay. So there we go. All this clay is so sticky, it's sticking to everything. Just gonna get rid of some of that here. Okay, and on this side, take a little bit off the red. Okay, so that is our leaf. So now we're basically going to do the same thing that we did before. Okay, and we're going to squish it, but we're also going to lengthen it. Now, if you want a really wide leaf, then you might want to use a little bit more clay than I did. I'd like to be able to use some of this for something else, but I need 1.5 for my cane, I think. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I'm going to cut that like that. And then, of course, you're going to squish it back down. Okay. You're going to pull. And it also depends what size I want to make this. It's going to go into a kaleidoscope cane. I don't need it this big. So this is why you just squish it down again. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need a whole bunch of it. Okay. So now I'm just going to take some of that. I'm pulling from the center. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to cut off right here. Okay, and that's going to give me 1.5. It's going to give me a little more than that. I'm going to try and get just a little more. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to leave it just like that. I cut it at 1.5 inches right there. Oop, got a little air pocket right there. Oop. We're going to have to fix that, aren't we? Okay, so there is our tropical leaf. Okay. So that'll save maybe for a pair of earrings or something. I don't know. But this is where we're going to end today. And yes, you got all these little extras right here. We can add this to the cane. We still have this, so we could still make a smaller leaf if we want. Or we can turn this into a really pretty flower. 3 inches, it might work, right? All right, so I just wanted to show you the finished piece, which is right here. Probably gonna end up going a little bit smaller for the cane, so I'm just gonna push it out a little more. Okay, and then come back in here and push it so that you got a thicker center. Okay. And the reason you don't want to lay it flat and do that is because you'll have one puffy side and one flat side, as you can see. So if you keep it, right, so that your center all the way across is puffy. Okay. All right, so one more cut. And there's the leaf that we're going to use. Okay. So, hope you like that. There's the finished leaf. And then tomorrow we are going to try and put this into a cane. And we're going to try and make it look really tropical. So, I'm going to try and draw it out because I have no idea how I want to attempt this. But that's it. You can also use this. Ooh. Here, let me show you something really quick. This could make, just popped in my brain, that seems to be how it works, right? If you were to take this now, I would do one more. I would probably coat that, or not coat it, but I would put, before I start on it tomorrow, I'm going to take some cobalt blue, and I'm going to just give it a little bit of a border on that. So we'll worry about that tomorrow, because that's really soft right now. But like on this piece, really quick, take a piece of blue, and I'm going to run this through at a 6. Actually, I'm going to run it through at a 7. I think a 7 will be perfect. And this is what I'll do to that, but I'm going to let that kind of harden up a little bit. Dogs are waiting for me to take them for a walk. But I told you that Makita might end up having surgery because she's got like a tumor on her eye. It's benign. We had surgery on it once and it grew back really slow. But it's big now. It just like started doubling in size. And I don't want to put Makita under for any kind of surgery at her age. So I'm going to talk to the vet and see if there's any way they can give her like a sedative, but not literally put her completely under. I don't know if that's going to be traumatic on her or what, but it's getting to the point where we take a walk. And I don't know if it's the blood pumping. I don't know if she's... I don't know if she's touched something. All I know is that it started bleeding really bad on our walk yesterday. And the blood was getting into her eyes. She couldn't see, and she's already blind, obviously. So I'm really afraid of taking her for a walk, because I don't quite know what caused it. But I don't know. Looks like we may have to... She may end up having to do another surgery, so yay. We'll be selling a lot of canes, like I said. Okay, so this isn't perfect, guys. I'm just trying to show you what you can do with them. You would want to go a lot thinner. And obviously a lot prettier. I'm using the end of a cane, so it's not going to be pretty. Let's see, and this is, I don't know what side that was. But anyways, just grab one of these ends like that. And you close them together. That's why they got to be perfect. This one was not. Okay, you can do something like that. You can grab some wire, obviously, after it's cooked. Just dig a hole right there. And you can hang like a couple beads off of that. I could hang right off of that. That might be too bright to make something like that, but so many things you can do with the end pieces. But anyways, that's it. That's our cane. Tomorrow we will put it into a kaleidoscope. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.